Hey guys, this is Jonathan Henderson with Pressure Washing Marketing Pros. In today's video, I'm going to go ahead and show you the exact marketing strategies for exterior cleaning businesses doing $10,000 to $30,000 a month. And that probably means that you're in the revenue range of $150,000 to about $350,000 a year. And so at this stage, it's all about implementing systems for predictable growth. Because when you're probably at the $0 to $10,000 range, right, you were doing a lot of manual marketing, boots on the ground, you were just getting your business started, you were just building your brand. And so now you're at this level between $10,000 to $30,000 where you're probably doing more work. You're probably, doing sales, you're doing the job, you're on the truck, and you feel like you're just stuck in this place. Trust me, guys, I know how it feels. And so how does $0 to $10,000 differ from $10,000 to $30,000 a month? Well, manual marketing is still valuable, but now you need structured outreach processes that now replace purely random methods, right? So that you can get predictable lead flow. You need a shift from basic branding, right? When you're at $0 to $10,000, you probably use like basic uniforms. You probably have a magnet on your truck or whatever it may be. Now it's time to fully invest in premium professional branding. I actually talked to a client the other day where we were talking about that. And the thing is, guys, we're going to get onto this, later on in this video, but branding does matter when it comes to your business because it will be, without even effort on your part, you'll be able to close more and get more leads. And at this time, a lot of guys, when they're first starting off from $0 to 10,000, they're probably manually collecting reviews. As you guys see here, you need to transition from manually collecting reviews to getting an automated review collection process, right? Using Jobber, House Call Pro, High Level, whatever it may be. And also you need to implement strategic outreach now. It's not just about the volume game when you're at $10,000 to $30,000 a month in revenue range. It's not just about manually because from $0 to 10,000, it's all about hard work. But when you're going to $10,000 to $30,000, it's going to be about being as strategic as possible. And so that means like implementing strategic outreach, right? Leveraging the data in your CRM to target top performing neighborhoods for you. And you're really being strategic about how you're placing your yard signs. You're being strategic about the type of paid marketing that you're doing. And even at this stage now, paid advertising becomes critical, whether that's Google ads, Facebook ads, Nextdoor, whatever it may be. At this point, when you're at $10,000 to $30,000, you need to be investing in some sort of paid type of marketing strategy. And now also too, you need to go from having like a do-it-yourself website to a professional optimized website because that's going to dramatically boost conversion rates between all your traffic sources. Because think about it, when you have EDDMs, when you do yard signs, door hangers, when you run ads, whatever it may be, your brand is out there. So what are people going to do if they don't necessarily go ahead and convert immediately when they see your yard sign or your door hanger? They're going to go ahead and Google your business. And if your website's not super professional at that point, you may be losing out on jobs just for that reason. And so the biggest pain points that you may face when you're between $10,000 to $30,000 a month is your growth has plateaued, despite you working harder, right? Lead generation is inconsistent and unpredictable. And so one month you're getting 60 leads and then the next month you're getting 20 and you're wondering, man, why is this happening to me? Why can I consistently have those months where I'm getting this, consistent lead flow? You have difficulty securing high paying jobs regularly because when you're at $0 to $10,000, you probably don't mind driving 30 minutes away to do a $200 driveway cleaning or a $250 driveway cleaning, right? But now that you're actually getting some more jobs now and some more volume or some lead volume at that point, now you're looking at it and you're like, dude, I don't want to go travel 30 minutes for a $250 driveway, right? I'd rather stay in my local area 10 miles around and get like a $400, $500 job instead. And so even at this point, you also probably have uncertainty about whether the marketing that you're doing is actually delivering results. And so you might be overwhelmed too by managing all the marketing efforts also, right, without structured systems. And so what I'm going to go ahead and show you guys in this video is how you can go ahead and structure your business so that you are exceeding that 10 to 30,000 a month status in that sense. You're hitting those $50,000 a month, $60,000 a month, right? So let's go ahead and get started, because the first thing is going to be branding and reputation management, right? And so some premium branding essentials that you need to go ahead and start thinking about when you're at $10 to $30,000 is you need to have a fully wrapped truck, because a fully wrapped truck, guys, is going to be a 24/7 billboard, right? With with maximum local visibility and authority. And now I can tell the story about how I was talking to a client the other day. So I was talking to a client and we were talking about how he needs to fully wrap his truck. He has the uniforms, right? He has all of that. But think about it, guys. For any service that you do, if somebody pulls up in a fully branded truck, they have a fully branded, uniforms and all of that, you're going to just get that sense of authority from that person. So when that person demands a higher price, you're probably like, okay, that higher price is justified. I mean, look at how these guys are rolling up and pulling up on me, right? But if you look at somebody that kind of just pulls up in an unbranded wrapped truck, you're kind of like, I might be able to haggle with this, guys. And honestly, guys, I have been a victim of that. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is I had a guy come fix our AC out here at my house, right? And what ended up happening is I knew he was professional. I knew all of that. But guess what? I thought about it subconsciously after the whole interaction that I had with him, and I said, man, just because he didn't pull up in a branded truck and all of that, I kind of tried to haggle with him a little bit, to lower the price, right? Because I looked at it and I said, he may not warrant authority. I don't see a branded truck, so he may need this money. He may need, that service or, my services, so I might be able to haggle with him on price. And so you want to make sure that you have that authority, and a fully wrapped truck can go ahead and do that for you. So make sure that you have, all your team is professionally uniformed as well, and make sure that you utilize consistent, professionally designed marketing materials consistently across your website, your business cards, all of that, guys, because now that consistency, right, is going to really build your brand. You got to think about it. If McDonald's colors are like red and yellow, with that automatic, we know about the golden arch. But imagine all of a sudden McDonald's had a blue and white, branding at that point. Is inherently, guys, and subconsciously, we're just not going to resonate with it as much. Right? And so you want to, as soon as you see that red and yellow with the golden arch, we know it's McDonald's. And so you want your brand to be the same way once you reach this status, because it's going to allow you to go ahead and solidify yourself in your marketplace. And also, when you're at this $10,000 to $30,000 range, you want to make sure that you're getting authority through video testimonials. Now you should be getting video testimonials for your business. So you should be actively collecting 30-second video testimonials from satisfied customers immediately after the job, because you can strategically leverage these video testimonial videos across your website, across Facebook ads, right, on your Google business profile listing, and these can substantially improve your conversion rates. And also regularly publishing these testimonials for your local SEO strategy can help as well. Because even for your YouTube content strategy, if you have these testimonials on there, it definitely helps your local SEO and builds local authority as well. Because remember, guys, who owns YouTube? Google does. And Google honestly will show those testimonials in the results. Like if you were to name a YouTube video and you were to say like satisfied pressure washing customer in Atlanta, Georgia, right? That could actually potentially get indexed by Google. And when they crawl that more, and even with the transition with AI now, guys, with AI will even be able to crawl the web and pick up on this stuff. So if I were to just chat GPT, like the best pressure washing companies in Atlanta, right? If I have a Rolodex and just various videos across the internet about client testimonials in that area, guess what, guys? They're going to pick up on that, and I'm probably going to have a higher likelihood of being shown on ChatGPT, on Google, and all these other sources as well. And so just to show you guys an example, I'll show you guys an example right now. So let's go ahead and play this video right here. So I'll be quiet, guys, and let's go ahead and play this video because you'll be able to hear it yourself.
2-year warranty. We just did his pool deck and lanai.
My pool deck was being plagued by mold, weeds, and despite my best efforts to clean them, it was just too much.
Right now it looks great. Now I gotta say, I love the crew. The crew people have been fantastic.
Let me put it this way. I was in the military for a long time, and I know nothing about brick paver and sealing. but I do know a lot about organization, team efficiencies, and professionalism. What I saw within the past couple of days were individuals who worked hard, who were exceptionally well-versed in the quality of their products, as well as the job that they were doing. They explained everything in detail and answered all our questions to their utmost satisfaction. Based on that, I am very pleased with the job that was done, and I would highly recommend them for anyone who's considering this in the future.
So you see that right there, guys, right? That's an example of a video testimonial by somebody that's getting a client. Like, imagine running that as a Facebook ad, or imagine having that on your website and people engage with this stuff, right? I mean, it's just like our YouTube channel. If you're watching it right now, guys, you'll see that we also have testimonials on our YouTube channel, on our website as well. So I'm practicing what I'm preaching because it's all an ecosystem. You don't know how many guys will say to us like, hey man, I saw a YouTube video by you. The same thing works for your exterior cleaning business as well, guys, is that you want to make sure that you have this information. I mean, shout out to AC Lockyer over at Mallard Systems in Orlando. For his business, they have a big YouTube channel where they put a bunch of their client testimonials on there, and they get a lot of work from their actual YouTube channel as well, where they educate, they provide client testimonials. And so you want to start collecting these type of 30-second, to 60-second reviews, because you can use these as Facebook ads, marketing material, even when you're sending estimates. Think about if you're sending estimates and you just had like an online estimate and you just had like in your signature line, like, look at all of these satisfied clients, and there were videos. People clicked them. They probably have a higher likelihood of actually going ahead and utilizing your business. And so that's why you want to start collecting some of these testimonials as well. And so you want to also have an automated review collection process when you're doing between $10,000 to $30,000 a month, right? And so you need to immediately automate it, and you can use this by getting a CRM. And so, as you guys know, you guys can always go back and watch my $0 to $10,000 video in that sense, which I've linked in the comments below. But you need to go ahead and already have a CRM established where you keep all of your customers' information. And so you should be automating your reviews, whether you're using Jobber, House Call Pro, or even you can use a tool like High Level as well. And you should also be offering small incentives too, because think about it. I always tell guys this analogy all the time. So as you guys can see on the screen, it says offering $25 Amazon gift cards. Now, if I told you for the $25 for Amazon gift cards, if I said, would you pay $2,500 for 100 reviews on your Google business profile? You probably would say, yes, I would pay $2,500 for 100 5-star reviews in that sense. So imagine right here, guys, $25 Amazon gift cards. If you gave away 100 of those, that's $2,500 right there. And that incentivizes that customer to go ahead and leave you a 5-star review in that sense. And so you should be, utilizing these type of strategies in your business so that you get more reviews. Because when you're at $0 to $10,000, guys, it's all about just manual work. Like, hey, Bob, can you go ahead and leave me a review? Here's my phone. It really helps out a small business. But you got to elevate from that now, guys. And so every review that you have on your Google business profile should be responded to promptly and professionally, right? Including the negative reviews, so that you build that trust with your audience. Because I see a lot of guys where they won't respond to their negative 5-star reviews, or I see guys do the exact opposite. They don't ever reply to their 5-star reviews, but they only respond to their negative reviews, right? So even as a customer perceives that, it's like, hey, do these guys really care about their 5-star customers? So you want to respond to every single review that is on there as well, guys. And so there's AI stuff. We automate review replies for our own clients in our agency, right? That utilize our services. And so now, guys, what I want to talk about is a genre of revenue maximization, right? So how can you maximize your revenue that you have right now of the jobs that you're getting, And so one way that you can do that is, seasonality and off-peak strategies that we're going to talk about right now, so that you can maximize the revenue on your jobs, is you need to proactively be pre-booking off-season services, right, to stabilize your revenue. So what do I mean by that, guys? So if you know that's about to be Christmas light season in this sense, and Christmas light season is, and you're an exterior cleaning business that offers Christmas lights, right? And Christmas light season is generally people start looking to book between September and November. And so during that time frame, what you can do is in August, even as early as like May, You can reach out to these people and lock them in on your calendar so that you can anticipate how much revenue you would have. And it also helps them not go to somebody else, because you don't know how many people lose business or even lose customers every single year because you're not consistently engaging your customers, right? And so what they do is they say, what was that Christmas light company that I used last year? I forgot their name. And then all of a sudden, guess what they do? They go on Google and just say like Christmas light company, and they're looking for your business, but then they accidentally click on an ad, and that ad, the guy's like, hey, yeah, this I do offer Christmas lights. And they're like, well, I had a gentleman do it last year. And you're like, hey, I'll be able to give you an estimate. You don't know how many times that happens to us, even with our own clients when we're running Google ads. Somebody's like, hey, I'm looking for such and such company. And then one of my clients will just be like, hey, we also offer that service. And then they're opening the door. And then guess what? You're giving us the opportunity, or you're giving somebody else the opportunity to go ahead and get your client. And so that's why you want to proactively be pre-booking your off-season services in that sense. Like for gutter cleaning, we know gutter cleaning, depending on what area you're in, but let's just say majority of North America in that sense, it's really going to be, gutter cleaning is going to be in demand probably between September to October at the most, right? So that means start pre-booking those services in August, in July already. Don't wait till the actual season to start advertising or start booking for those jobs. And so even in your CRM, you can leverage automated seasonal reminders to proactively secure bookings based on client service history and seasonal timing. So for example, if you have clients where you can just set up a reminder, right, for every 3 months, right? You can say, hey, it's at that 3-month mark, your house should look like X, Y, and Z. Hey, Bob, we just did your house 6 months ago. I hope it's still looking pristine right now, but there probably is going to be some unsightly marks. Then you can send another one a year from now, like, hey, Bob, it's time for your annual house wash. And so you're consistently on top of these customers' mind in that sense. And so you should be automating that also in your CRM with every single customer that you have, because that's going to maximize your revenue in that sense without actually having to work harder or get new customers in that sense. And so you also want to offer early booking discounts. And so the same thing I was talking about where it's like proactively pre-book off-season services, you want to offer early booking discounts because, you know, this ensures also and incentivizes people to book with you early in that sense. And so that is why you want to go ahead and offer that too, because it stabilizes your revenue and gives you consistent lead flow. Because now, like, let's say that it's February and I'm pre-booking people for exterior cleaning. I'm saying like, hey, hey, Bob, you used our, I know Bob's just a super popular customer of ours right now. But I'm like, hey, Bob, we did your house back, we did your house last year. Now we want to go ahead and do your house this year. Guess what? I'm going to offer you a $75 off discount from your invoice if you go ahead and book for the month of March, right? Or May, or whenever you want to go ahead and book. So now when you start hitting up your customer database, let's say if you had 500 people in your database at that point, if you hit up all 500, and you don't need to do it all in like 1 week, right? Break it up in chunks. And so if you have 500 people in your CRM, right, what you could do is you could start pre-booking people in January and just do about 20 a week, which 20 a week is not enough, but like 50 people a week, which is just 10 people a day from Monday through Friday, right? Just do 50 people, 50 people a week, which is just contacting 10 people a day. And that is honestly reasonable right there. That means that you could really contact 200 people in 1 month. And so if even just 10% of those people early book, that's 20 jobs on the book that you already have that might be in March, April, and May. So if you do that for those 2 months, you might have 40 jobs already on the books. And the more customers you have in your CRM, the more volume and the more customers you're going to have that are going to be booking. And so it's a multiplier. And on top of that, with some of the strategies that we're going to be talking about later, you can get new customers while also maximizing the revenue of your existing customers. That's how you truly grow, guys, without having to work harder. You work smarter, right? And so now another thing too that I see a lot of people successfully do is they bundle their packages in that sense. So people offer complimentary bundle services to naturally boost their average ticket values. And so this is something that you should be implementing. And if you have like another employee on your team, you have 1 or 2 guys on your team, because right now if you're doing between like $10,000 to $30,000 a month, you might have 2 to 3 people max on your team, maybe an office manager, a lead tech, or just 2 techs, an office manager, whatever it may be. but you're going to have some people. And so you want to be able to equip them with these bundle packages so that they can actually go ahead and sell them. Or even for yourself, you can sell these bundle packages so you can naturally boost the average tickets, right? So you can say, hey, we, for every house wash we do, we also do like a free screen cleaning for your windows. I'm making something up right now, guys. But typically you see house and driveway, or you see house and deck. Or you even see windows. Like, hey, if we do a house wash, we'll clean the exteriors of your windows as well, right? And so you boost up the value of your services in that sense. And so you can also use your CRM data, right, to strategically upsell bundle packages, tailored specifically to your customers' needs. And so you can look at the customer type, you can look at the service history. Those are things that I've told some of our clients to go ahead and do as well. Is like kind of sort the people by what kind of service they got. So if somebody got roof cleaning from you and that's the only thing that they got, guess what? You could probably sell them on a house wash next and say, hey man, we know that you've never used a house wash with us, but you got your roof cleaned. We have a bundled deal to where we give like if you do a roof and house wash, let's say that you did the roof cleaning for like $600. But you're like, you know what, man? We'll throw in a house wash. Typically, a house wash is $350. But if you do a roof and house wash bundle deal at that point, it's $700. It's $100 more, whatever it may be, right? So you're just increasing and naturally boosting the average ticket of your services in that sense. And so you want to have automated follow-up. As you guys can see, it's all about automation. So you need to go ahead, guys, and establish. So right now, like bundling and upsell strategies. So for people that haven't necessarily converted, or people that are in your CRM who you may have not worked with for 2 to 3 years. Like let's say you've been in business for 3 years, but there's somebody that you worked with the first year of your business, but 3 years later, you don't know where those people are at. Well, you should always, implement something in your CRM and in your marketing strategy where you're always sending automated, text message campaigns to convert unbooked leads into paying customers. And that's not manual work. And so you want to, regularly engage your existing customers by sending them these updates. As I told you guys earlier, in that sense, people may forget about you. You have to make them remember you consistently. People say, I don't want to annoy people. You're not going to really annoy people in that sense unless you're doing it every single day, right? Like we overestimate the importance of who we are as people. Like we think, oh, that person gets, how many times we're bombarded with so much advertising every single day, guys? You think that getting one more advertising, we're really gonna be like, man, I don't like this company, they sent me a text. No, people are accustomed to it now, right? It's kind of like a meth junkie. We have a certain baseline of advertisement that we've been seeing every single day. So now in this world where you have to vie for attention, you need to be doing this consistently with your customers in that sense. And so also you want to schedule automated seasonal reminders, as I talked to you guys about as well. And so one big thing that I don't see people do a lot too is VIP memberships and loyalty programs. And so what that means is you offer clearly defined membership or VIP packages to where you might clean somebody's home on a reoccurring basis throughout the year, whether it's quarterly, right? So one time every 4 or 3 months, whether it's biannually, so one time every 6 months. And you need to clearly communicate those benefits to the customer, right? Whether that's saying like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and give you priority scheduling. So I'll give you priority scheduling, I'll give you exclusive perks in that sense, right? So you'll get a gift card from us, or you'll get dinner on us, whatever it may be. Because these membership and loyalty programs provide a predictable, stable revenue stream and long-term customer loyalty. And you can use your CRM to track membership clients and proactively schedule regular visits without having to manually follow up. Because some people might think, man, John, that's a lot of work to remember when I have to go out there. No, it's not. Because if you put that data in your CRM and you just automate it to say, hey, we need to go clean Bob's house. Yep, there goes Bob, our most popular customer, right? But you need to go clean Bob's house, every 6 months. So set a, or every 3 months. Set a 3-month reminder that we need to clean Bob's home every, a reoccurring reminder that I need to clean Bob's home every 3 months. That's something that you guys want to go ahead and do. So an example of this, as you guys can see right here, is that these guys have it to where it's like, this is a 2-story house cleaning include. So the package price is $1,000 a year. So they're locking in a client for $1,000. Now imagine if you just had 100 clients that were on a package like this every single year that needs it anyway. That's $100,000 right there in revenue that you're having every single month. And it even tells you the cleaning schedule. It's February, May, August, and November. So it's every 3 months in that sense, right? So they do it on a quarterly basis. And so what that is 2 windows, 2 pool decks and cage, because this is a client, this is not a client, but this is a business in Florida where I found this at. 1 driveway and sidewalk, the house wash once a year. You choose a convenient time for you, right? And so these are things that they're actually doing in that sense so that they're creating that loyalty and value. And so that's an example. Also, guys, we're going to talk about structured direct outreach now, because back then, guys, when you're at $0 to $10,000, your outreach isn't structured. You're all over the place, and you need to be. You need to be throwing things at the wall to get that lead volume to start getting momentum. But now that you're at $10,000 to $30,000, you have that momentum, but now you need to be more structured with it. You don't need to just be going out there and just manually doing all the work all the time. Now, like I said, you need to be strategic and structured in how you're outreaching. And so, for example, one big thing that I'm going to say is that direct mail. A lot of guys are like, man, everyday door direct mail. I think that's what it is, guys. EDDM, that's how I know it. But it's like everyday direct mail, whatever it is, right? And so, in that sense, when you're doing direct mail, a big thing and how you do everything, like even if you're running Facebook ads, but I'm using direct mail in this instance, but I'll also tie Facebook ads into this also. So you can use your CRM data, and honestly, I'm not going to take credit for this. I'm going to shout out Dave Carroll of Dope Marketing. And so what you can do is, guys, is you can use your CRM data to identify the top 3 to 5 neighborhoods that you work in consistently, because guess what? Those people are exposed to your brand more often. Those people, right? You can start dominating particular neighborhoods whenever. So like, guys, if you work consistently in particular neighborhoods or zip codes all the time, guess what? You're going to build more momentum whenever you focus on those. Opposed to like, if you're going to a neighborhood where you only have one guy in there, it's going to be hard to start building up that referral base. But imagine you go to a neighborhood and you do 8 people in that neighborhood's home. If all of those people refer you one person, right? That's another 8 people that are coming. And then now if you went ahead and you close those 8 people, that's 16 people you have in that neighborhood now. Now look at that multiplier if you just are doing just a guy that's like, in one neighborhood, you just have one guy in one neighborhood and he refers you. That's 2 people. And then it takes those other 2 people, and then they refer you. That's another 2, but that's still only 4 people. Then those 4 people have to refer you to somebody. You get another 4. So it's just a force multiplier, guys, whenever you use your CRM data, because those are the people that are more accustomed to seeing your trucks. They probably know you a little bit more. It's probably going to be easier to close, right? And so you want to go ahead and use that social proof too. You can say, hey, I use, hey, Sally and John or whatever, 2 doors down have used this as well. You can ask them about our service. And so when you go ahead and you identify the top 3 to 5 neighborhoods or zip codes that you actually consistently work in, you can go ahead and be strategic and get more impact, right? And more leverage from the marketing that you're doing. And so also I see a lot of guys have basic messaging whenever they're doing like postcards or direct mail like that, right? So they're like, let your home's curb appeal shine. And it's just generic stuff. So one thing that you might want to do is like craft compelling messaging whenever you're doing postcards. So as you guys can see right here, your neighbor didn't paint their house, they just hired us, or dirt happens, but let's not pretend algae is a good look, right? These are things that might catch people's attention in that sense. And so you want to be compelling, have that. And obviously when you're sending out direct mail, include QR codes. And one thing that guys don't do, and it's the number one thing of why they mess up when they do direct mail, whenever they do yard signs, because I really should just put this as like direct mail, yard signs, which yard signs you just need to put like exactly what you do, like house washing. So you don't need a compelling message when you're doing yard signs. But you guys know what I mean, is that you need to be doing these things consistently. I hear guys where they say, man, I did direct mail once. I sent out 300 postcards, I didn't get a single call. And it's like, dude, you underestimated the volume and you underestimated how consistently you need to be doing this, And so that's one thing that I tell guys all the time is that you should be mailing this stuff 2 to 3 weeks consistently so that you increase the brand recall and the overall effectiveness in that. And so that's why you want to go ahead and do that. Now I can tie this back into Facebook ads, guys, and I can go ahead and say, All right, then. So even for this direct mail or for this, or for this direct mail strategy, think about Facebook ads. If you go in your CRM and you look at the top 3 to 5 neighborhoods or zip codes that you work in consistently, guess what? You can make a video stating like, hey, this is Bob, right? Bob with Bob's Pressure Washing. And, we're offering an exclusive discount to these people in this zip code, right? Or in this neighborhood. And if you look right here, you'll see our yard signs, and you should also have a direct mail in your mailbox. And so the biggest, so what we're going to go ahead and do is offer this exclusively for you guys in this particular neighborhood. And you make a video like that, and you specifically make a Facebook ad, guess what? Targeting that specific neighborhood in that sense. Because now it has overall brand effectiveness now. Now you send direct mail to those people in that neighborhood. Now you have a Facebook ad directly speaking to them about it, right? About that face or about the direct mail that they just received in that sense. And so now the brand recall and all that you're doing, you're being more strategic in how you're going about things. And so another thing that you can also leverage as well, guys, when it comes to structured direct outreach is establishing referral partners. And so I know Dave Mormon, shout out to him and his team over at Home Service Business Coach. They always talk about referral partnerships, and they're right. Like, you need to be grabbing coffee or whatever it may be, lunch with other people that's, are in different verticals, right? But they still service the home in that sense. So like landscapers, realtors, property managers, plumbers, whoever it may be, locksmiths, right? Whatever it may be in that sense. You need to establish clear referral partnerships. And it's not just about, hey, man, you refer me a job, I refer you a job. It needs to be structured. So you need to be, having written agreements to ensure mutual consistent lead generation benefits for both of you guys. And so you could say like, hey, it could be $50 per booked referral. So every person you refer me, I'll give you $50 or I'll give you $100. Because guys, what I've seen is that if you just have a handshake deal with somebody and you're like, hey, man, with a referral partner, things eventually fizzle out or they can be inconsistent, right? Or even worse, they start poaching your own clients because they're like, hey, I might think about doing this service. I want to make some more money, especially if they're desperate. And so one thing that you can do is you can offer structured referral incentives and get all of this stuff structured out with agreements so that you incentivize people to actually go ahead and do the referral. And you have a predictable way of going about things. And so establish those referral partnerships with other, home service business owners and other verticals as well. And so LinkedIn outreach, and this is really good for commercial guys, right? So this is still structured, direct outreach in this sense. And so one thing that I think that guys don't leverage is LinkedIn. A lot of the biggest guys that I know that get a lot of commercial jobs, their LinkedIn is on point. And that's where you're going to see a lot of property managers. That's where a lot of business goes on is LinkedIn. One of our biggest clients, I know he doesn't like to be shout out, and I'm not going to shout him out, but they're in actual North Carolina, and they do like $10 to $15 million a year in their exterior cleaning business. And 95% of their business is commercial. Guess what? I'm Facebook friends with him, and I also have him on LinkedIn. And guess what, guys? I never see him post on Facebook. And I'm not saying you shouldn't post on Facebook, but man, is this guy active on LinkedIn? I'm telling you, this guy, like every time I refresh my LinkedIn, I see him every single time. And that's how he's able to develop those relationships with those property managers and with those commercial property owners, right? And so you want to optimize your LinkedIn profile to specifically attract commercial prospects, right? And example headlines could be like helping property managers keep their property spotless. And so you want to regularly post successful commercial projects on your LinkedIn feed weekly or bi-weekly to, increase your, credibility and visibility, so that even if you were to directly outreach to somebody, they would still be able to look at your profile and see, okay, these guys do some great work. Oh, these guys did that building over there. Oh man, we have a similar building structure. And so you want to prioritize building the relationships first, like avoid an immediate sales pitch, right, guys, whenever you're connecting with these property managers and different things on LinkedIn. And so guys, here's an example. So Fred Hodge, shout out to him and his wife, Christine Hodge, right? But as you can see, he does a lot of LinkedIn commercial outreach. So if you look right here, he has his business right here in his header. He says president and co-founder at Clearview Power Washing, exterior cleaning services for commercial and multi-family buildings. So as you can see right here, right? And so this is one thing that you guys want to go ahead and strategically leverage at that point too. So you want to go ahead and leverage this as well, like exterior cleaning services for commercial and multifamily buildings in that sense. That's something that you want to go ahead and structure. And so you see he has 6,115 followers, over 500 connections, and they're always posting the different jobs that they do all the time. And so this is how you'd want to structure your LinkedIn profile too. You see he has a very professional photo with this suit. It gives him that credibility that he's running a real company, because that's what commercial clients want. Is they want, you know, some guys just say they want the cheapest bid. No, they want the most consistent professional individuals, you know, that they can work with ease, right? And so a lot of the time too of how you can get these commercial jobs as well, because I want to focus on this, because commercial jobs are also going to increase your revenue when you're at $10,000 to $30,000, because you need to start getting some of these contracts and all of that. And so for cold email, you can run targeted cold email campaigns offering a free demo cleaning to commercial prospects. And so there's different kind of lists that you can go ahead and buy online. And you can hire a VA to scrub that list and to verify that information. And so you don't need them to build that list, but you can use these other vendors out there to where you can go ahead and buy these commercial lists at that point. And when you buy those commercial lists, what you can go ahead and do is you can have a VA authorize and validate that information so that so you're not wasting your time with outreach. And you can even have that same VA or somebody that calls just follow up with these people on this list or send those emails and coordinate those email campaigns. And so you can follow up strategically 2 to 3 times after the initial outreach, because you always want to lead with value, guys. And so there's always ways to lead with value, and you can use things like Mailshake, Limlist to, you know, to streamline outreach and track the effectiveness of these kind of campaigns. And another way that's how you can go ahead and get commercial jobs and be structured with your approach as well is to do in-person walk-ins. And so one big thing that for a junk removal company that I used to be a part owner of in that sense is that this is one of the biggest ways that we would get commercial clients. And guys, it can be a little bit time consuming, so I'm not saying that this is one of the top strategies that you should be doing. But you want to identify and target your ideal your commercial clients, whether it's apartments, retail centers, restaurants, whatever it may be. And you want to be able to bring like a small gift, whether it's donuts, cookies, lunch, gift cards, whatever it may be, to build immediate rapport. Because one thing that we used to do, guys, is we used to use this company called, which I don't get any payment from them for shouting them out, but we used to use a company called Levy and Bakery, right? I think they're like in Chicago or something. And they have these like really premium cookies in that, right? Really premium cookies. And we would bring those in, and like we would like put like, we would have like, as you guys can see, like a professional branding kind of sheet that we would have with like before and after images, all of that stuff. And we would just go in there and say like, hey, we know you guys work hard. We're a pressure washing company. We want to bring you guys, or, you know, at the time it was junk removal company. We want to bring you guys some really good cookies and all of this stuff. And you bring those cookies in. And guess what? The property manager may sometimes not even be in there, right? But then we would leave them our information. And so they're probably going to take a look at it or whatever it may be. And so then after we did that, we would send a postcard to them asking them like, how did they like the cookies and all of that stuff with our branding on it. And then we would do a follow-up call. And you don't know how many times it's like, oh, you're with such and such company? You guys are the ones that sent us those cookies? Those are so good. Actually, we've been looking to like go ahead and cancel our contract with the current provider that we have for this. We should sit down and talk. Bam, you're in there, guys. So it's all about developing that relationship, and this takes patience and consistency, guys. So this isn't going to just happen overnight. But, you know, you should go ahead and send reminders in your CRM as well of when you need to follow up with these people too. And so what we would do is we would organize our CRM to where we would just have we would separate our residential and our commercial clients in our CRM, and we would just give follow-ups just on that campaign too, guys, whenever we do these commercial campaigns. And that's something that you guys can utilize as well. So now, guys, we get into the digital marketing stuff, because now at this point, you should also, you know, when you're at $10,000 to $30,000 a month, you should upgrade your do-it-yourself website, or your, you know, the website that you guys got from the guy on Fiverr or from your friend. you got to definitely upgrade that now in that sense, right? Because the importance of your website when you're at this stage is that it operates 24/7 as your primary salesperson. And so an optimized website significantly increases conversion rates from 5 to 20%. I mean, the big thing that we actually had a client that was actually ranking pretty well. You know, it was North Carolina. Shout out to our client in North Carolina. They probably know who they are. They're ranking very well, but they were adamant about like, hey, Jonathan, we have kind of good rankings. Like they're ranking for one of the most highly searched keywords, but they weren't ranking for other kind of keywords for commercial and other residential services. And so we were like, hey, man, we can come in here and actually go ahead and, you know, the amount of traffic that you're getting right now, we can increase the conversion. So what do I mean by that, guys? So let's say that you get 100 visitors to your website every single month, but you only convert 5% of those people. That's 5 out of 100 people that you convert on your website. But let's say that by simply restructuring and redesigning your website, you increase your conversion rate up to 20%. So 20% out of 100 is going to be 20 people. That's 4 times more people that you had that you converted. And so poor website design dramatically reduces your ROI across all marketing channels, especially paid ads. But imagine that though, guys. Imagine like if you had a poor website design and then somebody saw your stuff. Like there's guys that preach this organic marketing stuff that I'm talking about right now. Like, oh, I do organic marketing. You need this. You need to be posted on social media. You don't need marketing companies. But guess what, guys? They don't even have a freaking website. You know, and it's like, we got to stop listening to those guys and look at the things that those top successful businesses are doing. They have websites. You got to get out of your comfort zone. A lot of those guys preaching this organic marketing, I don't need a website or I don't need to optimize my website. They're not probably doing more than $200,000 a year. $300,000 at best is what they're doing. I mean, so if you're going to exceed that $10,000 to $30,000 range, you got to make sure that you have an optimized website. I mean, look at all the top companies in that sense. 90% of them will have an optimized website, and if they don't, their branding is just off the charts or they've been in business for 20 plus years. You know, and so key website features, guys, that you want to have on your website are going to be must load fast. You want to clearly display call to actions, you know, book now buttons everywhere. You don't know how many websites I've gone on and they don't have like their phone number or contact, you know, us page even linked. And even worse, sometimes you might even go to it and it's, you know, it's a broken link. It doesn't even go to a certain page. And so you want to make sure that you guys have high quality before and after images, videos in that sense, reviews. And so these are things that you want to have. And so like right off the bat, this is one of our clients, Seaside Pro Wash in Charleston, South Carolina. Like right off the bat, you see, guys, is that we have the contact us, that number right there. You know, we have this stuff automatically right there. And why is that? Because we want people to go ahead and convert immediately in that sense. And also what I see guys have is like a call us now button, right? Where it'll just be like, call us now, right? Guys, you want to display the full number on the website. That's one pro tip too, is I see too many guys where they'll just have like call us now button in that sense, right? Now that works for like Google ads and different things like that. But when you have a website, it doesn't work as much. You want people to be able, like if I'm doing research, right? And I have to hit the call us now, let's say I'm on desktop, but I have my phone in my pocket. There's no way for me sometimes on my laptop to go ahead and call the business. But if I'm looking at it on desktop, like how I'm doing right now, and I have my phone out, right? I have my phone, I can just look at the website and say, oh, the call us now button is this. Bam, 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 bam. And I'm calling now, right? And so you want to make sure that your website buttons also fully display the phone number also, guys. And so conversion mistakes to avoid, right? So make sure that your website loads properly because that will tank your conversion stuff. Don't complicate your CTAs. As I just told you, they should be prominent. You should list out your phone number and limit excessive or over lengthy text. Guys, I see some guys' websites and they'll have their SEO guy where it's like, this is good for content. And they'll just have content on there that is not relevant to their services at all, right? It'll just be things like, oh, you know, it'll be talking about National Geographic parks. It'll be talking about festivals, local festivals, and it's just like a paragraph on the homepage. And it's like this person does not care about the local festival communities that are on there. They want a power washing service. But you'll have these guys that are stuck in the 80s when it comes to SEO, things that worked 10 years ago that don't work now, right? Where I call it gimmicky in that sense. And so you don't want to implement those gimmicks on your website. And so that's one thing is like, I just see like, there's one business, I'm not going to shout them out though, but there's one marketing company where they would have like these FAQ sections where they would like just be, they wouldn't really be talking about anything, and they would link to all the clients that were all working with each other. It's like an intertwined network of people that they were just linking to in that sense. And it was just bad for business, like thanks to our friends at, this company for providing us this information. And it's like, dude, this is duplicate content. This is overly lengthy. This does not help the user at all. And so one of the biggest reasons why websites get penalized here in 2025 and beyond is because what? Guess what, guys? You're not being helpful to your customers in that. So honestly, another thing that you guys can do when it comes to your website is you can add live chat and instant booking as well. So you want to immediately capture and engage website visitors with live chat or automated chatbots, right? To where they can go on there and they can get an estimate. And so, some recommended tools on what you can do is like, Chirp, Jobber, House Call Pro has them, High Level does, right? And so, a lot of these will directly integrate with your CRM and they'll push that customer's data in there. There's also AI ones as well that are going to be coming out to where they can automatically just talk to your customer and get feedback and answer questions as well. And so that is why you guys want to have a live chat or instant booking, because that will definitely go ahead and increase your conversion rates as well. And so now let's talk about local SEO, guys, right? And so at this stage, when you're at $10,000 to $30,000, a month, you need to really be focusing on your Google business profile and these different aspects of your business. When you're at $0 to $10,000, you don't really need to worry about it as much besides getting reviews. But now, guys, you need to make sure that your entire Google business profile is completed, of all the details, business hours, service categories, FAQs. You need to be actively and frequently updating, your Google business profile with new project posts, new Google business profile posts, promotions, updates. You need to be aggressively collecting responses or reviews, as we talked about earlier. And so these are things that you guys want to go ahead and make sure that you constantly having activity on when you're at this level, because it's going to help you build your brand. It's going to help you rank better in that sense. So some on-page SEO strategies, guys, this isn't an SEO video. Of course, we have plenty of SEO videos on our YouTube channel in that sense. But guys, one of the main things is you want to optimize your homepage and service pages to explicitly target local keywords. You guys don't know how many websites I see where it's just a generic like pressure washing page or driveway cleaning, and it's just generic, a paragraph, not optimized, whatever it may be. So you want to clearly develop individual dedicated service pages too, because I see a lot of websites where it's just like a 5-page website, and then a guy will come to us and say, hey man, I'm not ranking for roof cleaning. And it's like, well, dude, you have this generic page called services with all your services on there with just a paragraph. If you had a dedicated page for each of the services that you provide, it'd be easier to go ahead and rank. And so you also want to build location pages that specifically target the areas that you service as well. So like pressure washing in whatever the city that you want to target in. So that's how, these are like just the basic on-page SEO and website structure things that you guys want to have on your website, at this stage. And so as you guys can see for this client that we have 15 Cent Pressure Washing, go shout out his YouTube channel. He has a lot of good content on there. But as you guys can see right here, he has an area that he services in Maury County, got the main keyword right there as well with the H1 tag that's clearly targeting, the specific area that he wants to go ahead and target, guys. And so that is one thing that you guys also want to go ahead and have on your website. Now, some advanced SEO tactics that you can do when you're at this level between $10,000 to $30,000 a month is you can have like project and case study pages where you like feature projects that you did, to where you might say like window cleaning project in Clearwater, Florida, right? I should say roof cleaning, but let's just say like 5,000 square foot roof cleaning in Clearwater, and it's a project, and you give how much that customer paid, outlining what were the issues with it, outlining the solutions that you provided, outlining the outcome, and it's just a project. And Google loves those type of pages, and that boosts your local authority as well. Regularly sponsor local sports teams or community events, right? By building high authority like local backlinks. So like one of our clients, he actually sponsors a local, his daughter's basketball team in the area. And so we were getting links from them. He was in the newspaper, and that really just drove up his rankings in that sense, because he's actually integrated within the community. And so that's stuff that Google looks for. And so you want to produce hyper-specific, helpful, customer-focused blogs, explicitly answering frequently asked customer questions, not generic SEO stuff, keyword content. And so guys, a lot of blogs that I see are just like professional power washing services. Why you need power washing. It's like, guys, we don't need to have a blog on why you need power washing in that sense, right? Maybe why you need soft washing, why you need to soft wash your home. Maybe that's a good one. But guys, you guys know the answers or the questions that your customers ask. Like, hey, does your service protect my plants? You can actually literally have a blog about like plant protection practices for pressure washing in Chicago, or no, I shouldn't say Chicago, but in, Tampa, Florida, right? And you have a blog about that. And you talk about not only, common techniques that people use to protect plants when they're doing pressure washing, but you can also go about your specific one as well. And so these are actually helpful to users. Like, people just think that blogs are just something that like you do as a gimmick. You don't know how many clients will come to us and they'll just say, are you guys going to blog for us? Our last company blogged for us. And it's like, dude, that's why you're talking to us right now. Your last company was blogging for you, but they were doing BS blogs. That's why you're here now talking to me, right? And so why do you want us to do the same thing that your other company did? You don't want to do that, guys. And so what we even do for our clients is we ask them, like, what do your clients ask you about this specific service when it comes to window cleaning? Oh, do you clean screen tracks, or how frequently should they get their windows cleaned? Perfect. Now we need to do a blog on like, the frequency of window cleaning, how often should you clean your windows in Seattle, Washington, right? You can do things like that in that sense. And so also, guys, as I talked about earlier, you can publish regular YouTube videos clearly demonstrating your work. Now, one example, guys, of a guy who's doing really good on this is like Pink Flamingo. Shout out to Cliff. When I look at his videos, guys, he ranks very well for like keywords like pressure washing in Tampa. And he's a one-man operation. And he's out here ranking with businesses that have been in there for 20 years. But if you look at his YouTube channel, he has 15,000 plus subscribers. And so guess what? That's a significant boost, because that's 15,000 people that vouch for his business, that follow it. So for Google, they're like, this guy must know his stuff. This guy must go ahead and provide a great service in that sense. And so that is what you guys would want to go ahead and look at as well, is you want to publish regular YouTube videos as well. Now, paid advertising and retargeting. Let's talk about that, because when you're at this stage too, you need to be doing some form of paid advertising and retargeting as well. And so the first thing that I think that guys should get on, no matter where, like if you're at $10,000 to $30,000 a month, it is a mandatory, in my opinion, that you should have Google local service ads actually go ahead and have those, right? That you have those running for your exterior cleaning business. Because the biggest thing about these is that they're a pay per lead model, which means you get a predictable ROI and you only pay for qualified leads, guys. And so how you respond also is a big ranking factor for local service ads. So you need to make sure that you respond quickly to these calls. But one thing about them, like I'm going to show you guys on the next slide in this sense, is that they show up at the very top and you only pay per lead. So even if you run these year round, guys, you're only paying when you actually get a credible lead. And so who wouldn't keep paying, if you're only paying if you get leads, guys? And so this, honestly, guys, with this, it's going to be able to go ahead and give you, consistent lead flow as well. And these are high quality leads also. And so you want to always maintain 15 to 20 plus consistent high quality reviews, because that's also another ranking factor. So how well you answer the phone, how many reviews you have, where your business is located at as well, and how complete your profile is, and how much you're willing to bid per lead. Those are all the ranking factors in that sense. So make sure that you regularly update your profile, guys, when it comes to your local service ads. And so it's pay per lead model. That's one of the best models. It's not like Home Advisor, like you pay for your own leads. If they click on there, you pay for the lead. And if it's not a credible lead, then guess what? You get a credit from Google, but still, you don't pay for it tangibly though. So what's the next thing, guys, in that sense, right? So here's an example of that. Here's a local service ad right here, guys. These are local service ads right here showing. So you see I type in pressure washing Tampa. These are local service ads immediately. Here's a Google ad right now. But here's a local service ad right here, guys. And so these show up, they show your reviews, and you only, like if I were to click on this Google ad, I'm paying money even if I don't call these people. But if I go ahead and I click on this, if I don't end up calling them or I don't end up being a lead, it doesn't matter at that point, guys, because guess what? I just clicked on it, but I didn't become a lead, therefore that person doesn't pay. And so that's what that's why I say every business should get on this. And you can use local service ads for window cleaning, gutter cleaning, pressure washing, roof cleaning. And so yeah, I said the main ones: gutter cleaning, window cleaning, pressure washing, roof cleaning. Those are the main ones that you can use local service ads for, guys, in the exterior cleaning industry. And so you also can run Google Ads as well. So guys, I have a full masterclass on Google Ads also on this channel, so I'm not going to go over it too much right here, but I'll go over some of the best practices, because you should be running, you should also be thinking about running Google Ads campaigns as well when you're at that $10,000 to $30,000 range also. And so one big thing that I see a lot of guys don't do when they're running Google Ads, and I see a lot of these agencies don't do it for their clients, is they don't structure the Google Ads where they have separate campaigns per service. And that's because you want to have accurate tracking and optimize your ROI. And so what I see sometimes in campaigns is that, an agency or somebody that's even running their own stuff will have one ad or one campaign, and they're targeting the works. They're targeting roof cleaning, window cleaning, pressure washing, gutter cleaning, all in one campaign. And so what you're doing is in that one campaign is getting so many different type of leads, guys, that you're feeding it, right? And so you're feeding it gutter cleaning leads, you're feeding it pressure washing leads, right, guys? And so, with certain strategies and bidding strategies that you can utilize, the better data that you feed Google, the more that they're going to match you to the appropriate person looking for that exact service. And so it's the same way when we run ads for our clients. I will separate a window cleaning Google Ads campaign and a pressure washing one, because that window cleaning one, I only want window cleaning leads in there. And then I can optimize it further to only show up for window cleaning search terms, have dedicated landing pages just for window cleaning in that sense. And so it makes it easier to go ahead and structure and be able to close jobs as well off Google Ads. And so another thing too is that guys don't spend enough. You want to make sure that you set a clear budget. To me, honestly, you need to spend at least, no matter where you're at, you need to be spending at least $1,000 a month, which is $33 per day, right? You need to be spending at least that amount, which I say $1,000 at the very minimum. Ideally, you want to be spending between $15,000 to $3,000 a month for really good results, right? And then another thing too, guys, make sure that you just implement negative keywords for searches that you don't want to show up for when it comes to Google Ads in that sense. So yes, you should be running Google Ads, guys. This is something that you definitely want to go ahead and how it can definitely maximize the ROI that you guys are getting in your business, because you're going to get immediate lead flow. If you're running Google Ads correctly, you should be getting leads within a week, right? Within the first 7 days of you running the ad campaign, you should be getting leads at that point. Now, the next thing is just going to be retargeting with Facebook or Google, right? So for Facebook, it's just going to be, you could have a Facebook pixel on your website. Every time somebody visits your website, bam, and they get served an ad, right? Or you could have like a CRM, your CRM, and you can export your client list, upload that to Facebook with an audience, and target the people that you already have, retarget the people on your CRM, whether that's unbooked leads, whatever it may be, with Facebook ads. For Google, same thing, is that you can go ahead and retarget people with display ads. They don't work as well, to be honest with you, because it's like, if you guys ever go on websites like ESPN or whatever, and you'll see those little banner ads on Google, those don't convert as much, especially in the home service pressure washing industry in that sense. But at the same time, as you can see, you can use your CRM customer list to build precise targeting or retargeting audience in Facebook. You can include video testimonials, as we said, in your retargeting ads to significantly increase your conversions. Because if you upload an audience list of people that never converted, right, you can go ahead and shoot them over with a customer testimonial in that sense to build more trust and authority. And so these are things that you can do when you're retargeting on Facebook, especially in that sense. And so one thing that I don't ever see guys talk about is next door ads, guys. Low competition channel. So you can run local ads on Nextdoor, and honestly, you could have a budget of like $300 and be closing like $5,000 worth of work because nobody's doing it. You can specifically target certain neighborhoods. There's no competition on it. So it's a way that you can utilize as a affordable, high impact advertising platform with minimal competition. And so, guys, Nextdoor ads, I'm giving you the cheat code. Nextdoor ads, I promise you, you will be able to be really good. And you'll get, honestly, I've seen out of all of those kind of like listing services where you list your business, like Yelp is good for restaurants, but it ain't good for like exterior cleaning businesses as much. There may be somebody that's killing it out there. I'm not going to be the all police and say that it won't work for all businesses, but I've seen Nextdoor have a higher, kind of potential client in that sense, like a better quality potential. I shouldn't say higher like weed or anything, but like a better quality customer I've seen definitely on Nextdoor in that sense. So Nextdoor ads, when you're at $10,000 to $30,000, guys, you want to leverage any kind of strategic advantage that you can have, and Nextdoor ads are something that you can definitely go ahead and run. So let's recap this, guys. Let's recap everything that I just talked about right now. Let's go ahead and recap all of this. And so what we talked about, I'm going to go, step by step of what we talked about. So we talked about going from manual random marketing to predictable automated systems, right, guys? Whether that's automated follow-ups with the clients in your CRM, or that's automated review collection, right? All of that stuff. You want to prioritize premium branding so that and establishing local authority with truck wraps, uniforms, and video testimonials. You want to, automate follow-up processes as well for unbooked leads so that you're not doing as much manual work as I just talked about earlier, and you're automating that process. You want to execute structured outreach, guys, right? Structured outreach. And I'm giving you guys examples. I mainly use commercial on that as well, because for residential, it's really just going to be door to door, guys. That's truly what that's going to be if you're having a structured thing, direct outreach in that sense. But when it comes to like commercial jobs, they definitely anticipate being, cold calls or anything like that. They definitely anticipate that. So you're not going to get as much pushback from them, which is why I focused on that, specifically for commercial. And so, optimizing your LinkedIn profile, using targeted EDDM based off the data that you have in your CRM, right? Cold emails, personal walk-ins that show value first, right? You can receive later. Invest strategically in paid advertising, Google ads, local service ads, Facebook ads, Nextdoor, with clearly defined budgets. You want to make sure that you have a clearly defined budget that you're going to invest that into. And then you can optimize your website specifically for conversions to maximize your overall marketing ROI, because people are going to be visiting you. Like if they see your branding on a truck, they might type in your business on Google. What do they see? Your Google business profile and your website, right? Yard signs, door hangers, even your Google ads, all of that. These people are going to be seeing your brand everywhere, right? So that's why you want to make sure that you have an optimized website to increase those conversions in the people that you would be converting. And so 5 immediate actionable steps that you guys can take immediately when it comes to this is going to be, you can first make sure that you automate your review collection, guys. So that means that if you have your CRM like Jobber, House Call Pro, High Level Market, start right now after watching this, automate your review collection immediately, right? So launch, second thing that you can do is launch a structured direct outreach campaign. LinkedIn, cold email, whatever it may be. You can start doing that this week. You can set up your Google local service ads profile today, because it has a highest ROI for paid ads when you're at that stage between $10,000 to $30,000 a month. Get your first client testimonial video this week so that you can leverage that to get immediate marketing impact. And then start working and create your first bundled service or VIP membership so that you can increase your average revenue per customer and also have predictable income and stabilize your income throughout the year. And so, hey guys, obviously we're at the end of the video now, so hopefully you guys got as much value as you can possible. But if you need help, guys, with your digital marketing strategy, with your market just research strategy, we help over 100 exterior cleaning businesses. As a matter of fact, 103 all across the US, Canada, and New Zealand, Australia, right, guys? And so if you need help with your marketing, you can go ahead and schedule a free strategy call right here at that link, guys. And you even see our website right there where it says pwmarketingpros.com, and we can help you out with that. But guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And if you guys have any questions, concerns, thoughts, or comments, please go ahead and leave that in the comments below. I will also link our video of pressure washing businesses that are doing $0 to $10,000 a month as well, so that you guys can go ahead and see that video too. Just in case you skipped that video and you just went straight to this $10,000 to $30,000 one, even if you're under $10,000 a month. I will link that in the description so that you guys can see that one as well. But other than that though, you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.